Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Beer, I'm impressed by your analysis and your presentation, and I thank all the members of the panel for their presentation. But I'd like to follow up with a question or two. The big, bold, beautiful bill, President's budget, approved 18,500 new agents, ICE agents 10,000, 8,500 CPB agents. I believe that Secretary Noem has identified their training period to be 47 days as a tribute to the President, the 47th President of the United States. When I talk to police chiefs and mayors back home, they say you can't prepare an officer for contact with the public in that short a period of time. Do you have any thoughts on this subject?
Oh, absolutely. It is reprehensible that they're cutting back on training at a time when they're asking officers to do things that even long experienced officers have not had to do: conduct random traffic stops, do crowd control, all of these things, profiling people in the street, all of these things that were never done by Immigration and Customs Enforcement before is now being done as a mandatory policy. So there should be more training rather than less when you're asking more from your officers.
And so the question in my mind is, what are they going to do with all of these people as they're learning on the job with weapons in their hands, wearing masks so they can't be identified? It's speculation in Washington about detention facilities. How many there will be? 8, 9, I've heard 15 detention facilities. Our present Bureau of Prisons population is around 160,000. We have more people in jail than any country on earth. More people in jail than any country on earth. And now we're going to build detention facilities that house another 150,000. Visualize, if you will, the America that they're designing for us in the future with those parameters.
Look, they're clearly not concerned about the welfare of the people that they're arresting. I mean, they are detaining American citizens even and putting them in these facilities and not giving them access to attorneys. They're not letting them make phone calls. And then they're often released without charges, but that doesn't make the wrong correct. And so now when you're going to have this huge bureaucracy of people pulling people off the street and shoveling them into warehouses where they're essentially black boxes, lawyers can't get in, there's no oversight, there's very little due process, and the due process that there is, they're constantly attacking and trying to remove it. So you need greater oversight, you need greater protection, but they're not putting any of the money into oversight and accountability for these facilities.
So the President's been very clear what his goal is, hasn't he? He's told us he's going after murderers, rapists, terrorists, criminally insane, childhood predators. The worst of the worst, he says. How are they doing on that score?
If you look at all the people that they booked into these facilities, just 5% in the most recent available data had violent criminal convictions of any kind.
1 out of 20.
1 out of
20 fits that category. Yep. So you get 19 people that are not culpable, not liable, not criminally responsible in any way, and they are the ones who are being swept up in this detention.
Even more tellingly, the administration itself assigns a threat level to each detainee. And we can look at, in the data, how they categorize these people. Just 8% are categorized at the highest threat level, and 73% are not given a threat level at all, deemed not a threat. And so you look at what they're actually saying in their own administrative records. They don't believe these people are threats either. And they don't care, because it's not about public safety. It's about the population purge. And it by all means necessary. It doesn't matter if it makes us poor. It doesn't matter if it takes away our rights. It doesn't matter if it harms you, takes your wife, and sends her to some foreign country.
I just have a few seconds left. I commend to you the case of Miramar Martinez in October, who was shot on the streets of Chicago. A teacher in a Montessori school. She was shot in her car 5 times and survived. God knows how. She survived. And what happened to the charges against her? 8 weeks later, dropped all charges. Could be because the vehicle she supposedly rammed had been moved from Chicago to Maine to be repainted, so it wasn't any evidence in her trial. To think of what is happened to this 30-year-old woman's life, born and raised in Chicago, an American citizen, shot by these ICE agents on the streets of Chicago.
And they bragged about it.
They brag about it. He was one of the shooters said, "I got 5 bullets and 7 holes." Quite a shot. He's very proud of himself. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.